We're in Cape Town. Now, here in the Western Cape, you've got some of the best riding roads in South Africa, if not the world. It's almost an embarrassment of riches. But there's two problems if you've got limited time. Which road do you choose to ride, and which bike would you choose to ride it?
Okay, sometimes a problem is not a problem, especially when you've got so many bikes to choose from.
We're standing here in Cayenne's new Cape Town dealership, which is Cayenne Droomers. Now, we've got the unenviable task of choosing one of these many bikes here, anything we want, any price, any age, it doesn't matter, and we've got to choose one of these to take riding.
Okay, so basically whatever I want.
Whatever you want, but I've got a feeling I know exactly what you're going to go for.
I think I do.
Yeah, well, I'm going this way.
I'm going that way.
Right then. Of course, Cayenne are MV and Hyosung dealers. And these are brand spanking new, beautiful machines. But then Matt's been driving one of those for quite a while, and maybe I should think of something a bit different. There's always the Hyosungs, of course. 650 GTs. It's a tricky choice, I've got to tell you.
Is it cruiser riding country? I think there's going to be too many twisties that we want to ride.
Well, we are by the sea, after all. What do you think? Can we get away with this?
It's not really my style.
Does four wheels just cheating?
Suits your hair, though.
What is that supposed to mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure. There is such a selection of bikes here, from the fully fed super bikes, but that's not really the roads that we're going to ride. It's going to be too fast. The maxi scooter, but that's not really what I feel like riding. I think I'm going to go for a naked bike.
Sometimes too much choice isn't necessarily a good thing. It was extremely difficult to choose which bike to take from Droomers Cayenne. But in the end, I plumped for this, the Aprilia Dorsoduro 1200. It's a bellowing beast of a bike, V-twin, 1200cc, absolutely perfect for these twisty roads. Italian exotica such as this Aprilia can be a bit intimidating for many riders. They do have a reputation of being expensive to buy and temperamental to run. However, this Dorsoduro, a 2012 model, is only 99,000 rand. And, to be frank, all the horror stories about Italian bikes should have been laid to rest years ago. It's an aggressive bike in terms of style and riding. There's 130 brake horsepower in that 90-degree V-twin, and Brembo radially mounted brakes rein things in with the help of ABS. I'm trying to guess what Clinton's been choosing. It's got to be some mad superbike, an R1, a Fireblade. And no, I'm completely wrong. Surprisingly enough, we've both gone Italian.
What a motorbike. This little 800 Brutale is a peach. It's really, really good.
And we've not even got to the road we're meant to be on yet. But I mean, I had you down as some sort of ridiculous superbike, an R1, a Fireblade, something just absolutely obscenely fast and mental.
Well, look, this is obscenely fast and mental. It's just not got the fairing, but that's not really an adventure bike, is it?
Well, I can actually ride other things other than adventure bikes, surprisingly.
Oh, OK.
Clinton's MV Agusta Brutale needs no introduction to regular viewers of the bike show. Fair enough, Matt has been running the 1090 version, but this little 800cc version is just as mental and loses none of that MV character. The three-cylinder engine produces 125 brake horsepower at a screaming 11,600 RPM and will propel the Brutale to a top speed of nearly 250 kilometers an hour on the track, all for 136,000 rand.
Look, I know this Rooi-Els road well.
Is that where we're heading for?
It's twisty. The straight-up riding position is definitely the way to go. I'm looking so forward to this ride.
Hugging the coast between Gordons Bay and Pringle Bay to the east of Cape Town, the Rooi-Els road is as near to riding perfection as you could wish for. Both Clinton and I have ridden this road many times on a variety of bikes, and it never disappoints. It swoops, dips, rises and flows for kilometre after kilometre, never letting up. I doubt there's a wrong bike on which to ride this road, but the Aprilia is nothing short of a revelation. A punchy engine, allied to a light and super nimble chassis and a super motard riding position, makes for a thrilling ride for those brave enough to unleash all the available power. Like any good road, it takes a bit of learning to get the most out of it. And being a popular tourist destination can lead to some frustration if you get stuck behind a queue of slow-moving traffic. But choose your moment and get lucky with the weather, and surely this is riding heaven. Clinton's MV Brutale is just as brilliant on this road. The power delivery comes in much higher up the rev range, so you need to work the engine that much harder, which only means a better soundtrack to listen to. Like all the Brutales, the handling is super sharp and can even be a bit nervous if you haven't the balls to take it by the scruff of the neck and show it who's boss. But Clinton is more than capable of doing that. And by the grin on his face when we stopped, it was clear he was really enjoying himself. Could it really be that we've both chosen the perfect bikes for this road? Well, against all bike show tradition, I'd have to say yes.
So Harry, what's the conclusion?
The conclusion is that even though we've just done one of the many good roads in the Western Cape, it is a pretty spectacular road.
Yeah, you know, I take a lot of people on this road as part of my trips, and every time, and I've had a lot of foreigners, every time people have said that it's like the most beautiful road they've been on. So I think it's right up there in the world.
It's got to be right up there. You've got to choose your time though, because the weather wasn't brilliant, so you've got to kind of pick your time. But even in that kind of condition, it was still stunning.
Right now it's looking good, but earlier it was quite dreary.
A bit dreary, but yeah, I mean, the sun's coming out now. What about the bikes? I love that. That is just mental as far as I'm concerned.
For me, this was the right choice. Right up, straight up riding position, really easy to maneuver through the corners. The wind isn't really a factor, but you're not really going all that quick.
No, not at all. And the weird thing is that naked bikes aren't that popular in this country, but I think they're coming more with the choice of things like this. They're coming on song, hey?
Yeah, it's getting there, hey, for sure. If you just look at how many bikes Triumph's selling and people like that,
yeah,
it really is.
It's starting to become an important factor. So the bikes are important, but actually it's the road that makes the bikes what they are. So you've got to come here to the Western Cape and explore some of this amazing scenery.